Hello friends, I welcome you all for the today's topic. At the outset, I would like to thank Dr. Girish and Ritesh for giving me an opportunity to express my views on the novel and innovative eCME platform, which I am doing for the first time. We all know that infertility is on the rise since last so many years. 15% of couple worldwide every year suffer from infertility, and male factor is contributing significantly in the range of 35 to 50% in the causative mechanism of infertility. Now there is a rising declining global trend in the semen parameters over last 50 to 70 years. It was 113 million in 1930, which came down to 66 million in 1990. In 1999, WHO gave a criteria of 20 million, and the current criteria which were given in 2010 has come down to 15 million as a normal count. So let's see in the PowerPoint presentation ahead why it is so, what are the causes, how we can manage, and how can we improve the pregnancy rate by providing counseling, treatment and other modalities of treatment to the infertile couple. Thank you. So friends, we start with the topic male fertility, pitfall to downfall. As we know, there is a rising infertility, a cause of concern. Globally, 60 to 80 million couples suffer from infertility every year, which probably between 15 to 20 million couples are in India. Nearly 50% of infertility is related to reproductive anomalies or disorders in the male. In addition, 25% of infertility cases, no detectable cause can be traced after routine tests, which leaves us as a case of unexplained infertility. If we see infertility compounds, the etiology wise, female factor is 35 to 50%, combination of male factor is 35 to 50%, combination exists in 10 to 20% of cases and unexplained in 10 to 20% of cases. Now if we see the fertility, say after time of exposure and percentage of pregnancy, within 3 months the 60% of couple become pregnant, then 6 months of exposure 70% of couples have pregnancy. After 1 year 85% of women become pregnant, and after 18 months 90% of them become pregnant. So at the end of 18 months 10% still they are they don't become pregnant, or they enter into as an infertile couple. Now if we see, so by definition WHO says that when there is unprotected sexual exposure for continuous 1 year, only then the workup and treatment is required for younger women. When the age is less than 32, 1 year is the criteria, and if the age is more than 33 to 35, then couple should be investigated and offered a treatment within 6 months of exposure. Now still, to determine the male fertility, semen analysis is still a primary method which contains semen volume, sperm concentration, the sperm count, sperm motility and sperm morphology. WHO criteria for normal semen analysis as per 1999 standard is volume of less than 2 ml, sperm concentration of less than or equal to 20 million, total sperm count of the volume of the specimen should be 40 million, progressive motility should be more than 50%, and normal morphology should be less than or equal to 15%. Now in 2010 WHO revised the criteria to volume to 1.5 ml, sperm concentration of less than or equal to 15 million, sperm total count of less than 39 million, and progressive motility of less than 32%, and normal morphology of less than 4% is considered as abnormal. So as we see, there is gradual decline in the semen parameters. We recall our physiology. The semen production or sperm spermatogenesis is controlled by the hypothalamus, which by GnRH acts on the anterior pituitary, which releases LH and FSH. The LH mainly acts on the Leydig cells, which leads to production of testosterone, which by negative feedback mechanism controls secretion of LH from hypothalamus and GnRH. FSH primarily acts on the Sertoli cell, and it is involved for the spermatogenesis and sperm maturation. Now there was a study of decline in semen quality among young Chinese men. It was study of 30,636 young men. If we see from the chart, from 2001 to 2005, the mean count concentration is 68 million. The volume from 2.8 million has reduced to 2.3 million in 2015. The sperm concentration from 68 million to 47 million, and the motility is not varying very much, from 34 ranging between 20 to 34, but it is on the decline. And if we see the sperm morphology, the morphology is also declining at a very fast level. Similar other studies were reported by declining sperm count and motility by young adult men in Boston area during past 10 years. Another study by Mendola, it also had a similar trend in Spanish men, and by Roland et al. Also showed an annual decrease of 1.9% in the sperm concentration, a significant but not quantifiable decrease in morphologically normal sperm, and a significant increase or decrease in the motility over a 17 period in the study population in France. Male infertility, if we see, the factors belong to idiopathic, mild descendant disease, infection, disturbances in deposition, and sexual factor, general and systemic disorder, varicocele, hypogonadism, immunological factor, obstruction, and other anomalies. But if we see, the idiopathic infertility contributes to a large chunk of 31%. Idiopathic male infertility is defined as, although a molecular basis of idiopathic infertility has not been clearly described, the oxidative stress seems to stand out as one of the underlying mechanisms. So we will see how what are the reactive oxygen species which cause the oxidative stress. They are also known as free radicals. They have at least one unpaired electron. They are oxidizing agents. They are generated byproducts from the metabolism of oxygen, and due to unpaired electron in the outer shell, they form highly reactive molecules, and they are primary, secondary, and tertiary as shown in the chart. Now, generation of ROS in spermatozoa. Why it is so? Because they are small cell, they are produced in very high number. There is condensation of chromatin in the nucleus, that is loss of cytoplasm. So there is a lot of DNA fragmentation due to coalition of chromatin, breakdown of chromatin, deposition of release of mitochondria. So it leads to lipid peroxidation. So this is all required for capacitation of sperm. So lipid peroxidation dissolves the cell membrane and the chromatin is released when it penetrates the oocyte. Now there is a physiological role of ROS. If for the sperm maturation, ROS generation is required, because it involves into signal transduction, motility and capacitation, acrosome reaction and fertilization. It is also triggered by the reactive oxidant species. But main source of ROS production in seminal plasma is due to leukocytes, immature and dead spermatozoa, and morphologically abnormal sperms. Sperm DNA is very fragile, so it is affected by raised ROS level and leads to sperm death. So it is by increased testicular temperature, smoking, stress, alcohol, increased BMI, poor diet, infrequent ejaculation, aging, infections, cancer, pollution, toxin radiation, high intake of caffeine, recreational drug and medications. Now unregulated ROS production causes oxidative stress, which causes lipid peroxidation, which leads to DNA damage and apoptosis of the sperm cell. Now oxidative stress is a condition where in the body there lies a balance, very delicate balance between free radicals and antioxidants. When the antioxidants are in the higher concentration, then they don't allow the free radicals to damage the sperm cell. But when the antioxidants, free radicals increase, then oxidative damage leads to tissue injury, inflammation and sperm death. Now effect of oxidative stress is mainly by reactive oxidant species, causing lipid peroxidation. By altering membrane integrity, ROS impair the sperm motility and morphology, causing DNA damage and apoptosis and can lead to sperm death. Now negative effects on male infertility is 40 to 80% of non-selected infertile patients have high level of free radicals in the semen. Infertile men have higher free radicals than fertile men, and elevated seminal oxidative stress contributes to impaired reproductive potential of men with idiopathic infertility. Now clinical consequences leads to reduction in sperm count, motility and abnormal morphology, reduced fertilization rate, reduced embryo cleavage, reduced pregnancy rate, reduction in embryo quality, increased rate of miscarriage, birth defects and childhood cancers. Now, if we see the terminology, azoospermia is like absence of sperm. Oligozoospermia is low sperm count, that is less than 15 million as per latest WHO criteria. It is divided into mild, moderate, and severe. Mild is from 10 to 15 million, moderate is between 5 to 10 million, and severe is less than 5 million. Asthenozoospermia is sperm with poor motility. Teratozoospermia is abnormal shape of the or morphology of the sperm. Now, mainly it is observed why there is globally decline in the sperm semen parameters. It is due to believed to be environmental toxins, mainly known as EDCs, that is endocrine disruptive chemicals or molecules. Because it is observed that while semen parameters are also decreasing, there is concomitant increase in the testicular cancer, cryptorchidism, and hypospadias. So this is the toxin is obtained through diet like xenoestrogens from soy products and dairy and beef when mother is pregnant. Mercury obtained through contaminated fish. Trans fats found in processed and packed food, and increase in consumption of sugary drinks and the food. Lifestyle. It forms a major factor for globally declining semen parameters. It is due to increased smoking and alcoholism. There is psychological stress from study, work, and emotional problems for the, as we have observed, the younger generation which we see today, they have more stress in study, work, and emotional problem than we had when we were young. The use of mobile phone and wireless technology reduces the progressive motility and increases the sperm head defects. Reduction in sleep, that is also lifestyle. People are awake late in night. The sleep, it is believed that when the sleep is less than 6 hours, then it affects the sperm quality. Lack of exercise leading to obesity and increase in diabetes. Now, there are few systematic reviews which give us an evidence that we have to correct the imbalance between antioxidants and ROS. So, why antioxidants can be given orally, so it is easy to treat. So number indicate that 17 hours studies show that improvement in sperm quality or pregnancy rate with the oral antioxidant. Similar study also shows that antioxidant supplementation in subfertile males improve outcomes of live birth and pregnancy rate even undergoing ART cycle. Another study shows that clinical pregnancy rate also increase, and overall there is evidence of increased risk of miscarriage. So if we give antioxidants, the subfertility improves. But if we come to the treatment options, it must be started with lifestyle modification, because unexplained infertility causing borderline sperm parameters, it is in abundance rather than moderate to severe. It starts with exercise, then yoga, diet modification. In diet, the evidence-based data shows that walnuts, when given in a dose of 50 grams to 75 grams a day, it improves the sperm parameters, mainly the DNA quality and morphology, because it contains DHEAs. Meditation to reduce the stress, reduction in alcohol consumption, smoking, and recreational drugs, and use of mobile phone must be less than 4 hours, and wireless technology is also not in all. Both exposure should be less than 4 to 6 hours a day. Treatment options, if we see from the oligo and azoospermia, when it is mild, then 10 to 15 million count with good motility, give medical treatment for 3 months. If no result is found, then you can proceed to IUI. In moderate oligospermia, it is medical treatment followed by IUI and maximum 3 to 5 cycles of IUI. Then if treatment fails, then patient couple should be advised IVF and ICSI. When there is severe oligospermia, less than 5 million, then IVF, but preferably ICSI should be done. So I also suggest that when you come along with a patient with severe oligospermia, and if patient does not improve by giving medical treatment and couple does not have pregnancy, don't delay ART technologies for patients of severe oligospermia. Now, azoospermia patients also have a chance to become pregnant with their own sperm, when there are two types, obstructive and non-obstructive. In obstructive azoospermia, there are various testicular sperm extraction method, where sperm can be extracted directly from the epididymis and the testes, and they can be used for ICSI, but still it guarantees pregnancy rate only in 28 to 40% of patients. If we cannot help these patients, and donor IUI should be offered. Thank you very much.